the love that I get now from the time that I got drafted. I got drafted and then had a whole year where I didn't go. So people was like, oh, I thought you were supposed to go overseas, or I thought you were
Right.
supposed to do this and do that. Like,
Doubting.
but it was like some funny shit though. Like it wasn't like just like, like how's that going? Like, can you
Right.
give me updates? You know what I mean? It was just like some like, yeah, you a goofy, like you trying to, portray yourself as something and you not, you know what I mean? Because they want to make themselves feel good. So this year, it just put a lot of shit in perspective for me. I don't talk to a lot of people. My audience has grown more. I've done more shows and podcasts, and my story's getting out there, so people are starting to know who I am. And then this was just the icing on the cake. Like going to Mexico has put me at another level of
Yeah.
celebrity, if you will. Like
And you
more known.
celebrating that win.
Yeah, and celebrating that win, and I don't even think the win was the biggest thing. I think it was just the fans and the way that people embraced me and loved me, and as opposed to here, it's a little bit different. But like they was just grateful to be in the graces of, basketball players, Americans, tradition, culture. Like they was
Right.
happy to show us how they get down. I met some great people out there. I met Bun B while I was out there.
That's
Um,
awesome. Shout
yeah,
out to
so
Bun B.
yeah. So just just winning the championship and getting all these other looks from other leagues that are higher than the league that I'm in. I was just grateful for it all, and I took a lot of pictures. I gave a lot of shoes away. Kids, they took everything that I had from me, my socks, my shoes. A kid
You're the
almost cried
hero.
because I didn't want to give him my shoes, and then I had to give him my shoes and shirts and so on. So it was just an experience that I could never get back. That I'm ready to go back to.
Are
Um,
you going back on that team?
yeah, yeah. The season starts up in the next like 5 months, so we're looking
Okay,
at like
yeah.
May, June.
Yo, everybody tap in with Frank on his Instagram. I'm gonna put his Instagram back up in here so you could follow his journey, so you could see him when his season starts again. Congratulations to you, Frank. Congratulations on your win, playing overseas, everything that you've been through, where you're at now. Anything else you're excited for in 2022?
Um, Honestly, just ball. Being able to go back. This contract is for the next couple years. So, just being able to know not only the perks that I get from it, but the actual things I'm going to gain from it as well. Being able to connect and network, and potentially I want to own some property out there, that I can Airbnb out and, have for
Right.
myself. That's the goal. Some people go out and do their stints overseas for a while because the overseas game, you don't know when you're leaving and where you're going to the next place or the next place. But if you can go somewhere and actually build a foundation where people love you and, you do well there and you establish yourself, you can do a lot. So that's the goal, to get down there and, own a piece of property and, just live life and have a place where I can vacation, and not only vacation, but be known by the locals, and, you know, I won't be a stranger, and, can bring my daughter down there and, and feel safe. Yeah.
Absolutely. You are an inspiration, Frank. You are a success story. Your story is, I thank you so much for having the courage again to come on here to my podcast and share your story with this audience. I wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations for everything. Don't go nowhere. I'm about to bring Dr. Zakiya back up, and we're about to talk about some hot topics. Tap in with Frank. I'm going to put all his stuff in the description. And then,
Yes.
this is going to go out on YouTube first. This is going to go out on Spotify, Facebook, every single platform, Twitter. All his stuff is going to be in there. Tap in with Frank. Holla at him. And Frank is super dope. Now, let me get Dr. Z back up here in the building. Give me one moment. I'm a little producer on this podcast, too. I got to get her in here. There go Dr. Zakiya back
She
in the
like, no.
building. Thank you so much,
Hey
Dr.
y'all,
Z, for
I'm
waiting.
back.
Waiting patiently. You already know you've been on my podcast before, Dr. Z. This is we're gonna do some hot topics that we're gonna talk about, and then we're gonna get into red flag and deal breaker. So y'all ready to play some games? Oh, before we get into the games, Frank, you got any questions for Dr. Z while she's here?
Um, How is it being in the medical field?
Um. Wow. Uh. You know, for me, you know, this is something that was like a childhood dream of mine. Like I wanted to be a doctor since I was like 8 years old, and the dream actually in reality is not the same. Like that childhood dream, the actual reality of like achieving that dream, they're not the same. And so I think like somewhere along the line of like, like working to obtain the dream, I like kind of like fell in love with medicine.
Yeah.
And over the last like 3 to 4 years, like becoming like a physician entrepreneur and like learning how to practice medicine on my own terms, I'm now like found that passion, that love that I had when I was 8 again. So I'm really happy now. But like when I was going through school and like training, I was really questioning. I'm like, why did I want to do this? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm never gonna much lie to you. But like I love it now. I like helping people. I like meeting people. And um, you know, I'm just grateful because not everybody can say like, I wanted something since I was like a child, and then you get to do it, and
Hmm.
live it every single day. So I really do feel grateful for that one fact. But like, I was going through it when I was trying to get to this point. I went through it. So yeah.
You struggle made, Dr. Z. We all struggle made. We gotta
Yeah.
get in tune with Frank's merch. Struggle made, man. We man, listen. Frank is
Hey.
playing ball. Dr. Z is practicing medicine. I always wanted to interview and talk to interesting people, and I'm doing it. I'm living my dream right now. So we all live in our dreams, and we all struggle made because one day I'm gonna do a live for maybe I'll do a live, maybe I'll do a podcast and talk about my story. But we've all been through it. We all struggle made. So that's definitely what's up. All right, guys. So now, Dr. Zakiya, she's been on my show before. We're gonna talk about a little bit of hot topics right now, some things that's going on in the world. Give me one moment. I'm trying to get us situated here. All right, we got our names up here, and I'm gonna put Dr. Z stuff in the description as well. All right, so we're gonna talk about some hot topics, y'all. So the first hot topic that is going on in the world right now is every trimester Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian.
I
All
saw
right,
some memes that kicked me
Yo,
out about him. I'm not even gonna
all
he
lie.
right.
is
Let me
wilding.
Yes, before I get to you guys, I'm gonna just give a little brief synopsis. We're gonna go with Frank first, and then we'll do ladies first. We'll go with Dr. Zakiya's opinion, and then we're gonna go to Frank. So for those of you guys that don't know, Tristan Thompson has fathered yet another child during the duration of the relationship with Khloe Kardashian. He had denied when the woman came out and said that she was pregnant by him. He denied knowing her, and then he tried to pay her off with $75,000, which that's not gonna pay nobody off. The lady had the baby. The DNA test came out. He confirmed that he fathered the child. He apologized publicly to Khloe. And now I'm going to go to Dr. Zakiya. What is your thoughts on every trimester, Tristan?
Um, I just think that this is a typical like textbook case of people who not want to take accountability for the stuff they have to do, and because of who he is, and you got a little bit of money influence, he think that could get him out of stuff, and I mean it didn't work this time. So I mean, hopefully, he's walking down a path where he can, start to like actually take accountability and learn, that when there's consequences to choices we make in life, like in adulting. Can't just go around doing everything that you want to do, and we know when it's not convenient to you, act like, oh, I don't know you, I didn't say that, I didn't do that. That's not how the real world works. We don't all have that convenience to forget things that are uncomfortable that we don't want to deal with. So I'm not gonna judge him, but I hope he's learning that lesson. He needs to learn that. That was evident he didn't get that assignment.
He didn't get the assignment. And now, Frank, you play ball. What do you think of your fellow ball player, Tristan Thompson? What's
First
going
of
on with
all,
him?
he just first of all he just in the league. He ain't balling. he known for more. He known for more of what he doing right now than basketball. Honestly, if I was his teammate, I would be looking at him funny. But I will say, with this game, it comes with a lot. And I'm not in the NBA, and I don't have millions of dollars. But I know what having a status is. Um, being in sports, the temptation, um, people that are willing to throw themselves at you because of what you do, because of the perks they might think you have, uh, doors that they're trying to get in that they can't get in that they know they can with you.
Right.
Um, I've experienced a little bit in Mexico. Just
Groupies was out.
yeah, they were, being American and black, and playing ball. It was a different culture. So they wherever we were, they were following.
But does that mean you raw them and have a baby with them?
No, definitely not. But as far as the temptation, like I feel like he's just weak. Um, he's a very emotional person, seems like to me. Like anybody that he can confide in and talk to and have a conversation with and get close to, I feel like he latches on to them emotionally and physically. um Him having the baby by his trainer, I mean, that says a lot, right? Like y'all training, and if you training, you getting to know somebody's life, just like how we're talking about my situation. Like in my past, I had women who listened to my story and liked me even more because of what I went through. Like, it's just certain things that turn people on. But I think that he's just crazy. Like, I don't understand why you dealing with Chloe if you just gonna be outside like that. Like,
Right. Because you're not supposed to be bonding with your female trainer in the middle of a relationship.
no. And
There's certain appropriate, right.
if you're gonna be in an open relationship, it's best that you say that. And then you go publicly and write a whole apology on Instagram. I'm just like, that doesn't justify nothing. Like at the end of the day, you still about to have a baby by a different chick. And I mean, shit, she kind of dumb too. I mean, this dude done messed up how many times, and
And
you's
not
taking
only
him
that,
back.
right. And not only that, but like publicly denied even like sleeping with you or knowing you like that. I don't know. If I was in a relationship with him and he had a trainer that looked like his trainer, because she's a beautiful woman and he's spending a lot of time with her, and I was his girl, I'd be like, listen, you're going to have to find a man trainer. Or I don't know, which makes me think that they probably were either not together, Chloe and him, during that time, or they were in an open relationship. I don't know. Either way, it's a messy situation. And it's just at this point, I just wish Chloe the best. I hope she levels up. I hope she gets herself a Russell Wilson, or maybe she got to date an accountant or a lawyer or something. Get out of the NBA, because this is not working out for you,
Well,
Mom.
well, I mean, at the end of the day, we talking about the Kardashians as a whole. So you look at each man that they dealing with. They don't deal with regular people. So they deal with very famous people. So if you're dealing with somebody famous, you gotta expect what comes with the territory. You either gonna be with it or you're not. Um,
Woo, that's a
yeah,
messy situation. Good luck to
yeah,
Chloe. But while we're on the Kardashians, Kanye West's new girlfriend, Julia Fox. Kanye West is out here living his best life. Julia Fox got the low-rise pants on, the panty line thong
man.
out. She out there flipping her hair. They're on the floor making out in the closet. They're hugged up. Kanye is living his best life. Dr. Z, what do you think about Kanye West and his new relationship? And then we're going to bring it over to Frank.
Hey, I'm happy for him. He deserves a little bit of happiness, Um, I think people kind of focus on some of Kanye's eccentric behavior, but I think Kanye is very smart. Like I think he knows what he's doing, and I mean it just is what it is. So it's just like it was a lot when he bought the house across the street from Kim. They were talking about that too, and I'm just like hey, dude got money. Money can't buy you love and happiness, but it could buy you the house across the street. So all right, Kanye, rock on. Have
Right.
with your new girlfriend. I mean, he ain't hurt
What
nobody. He ain't hurt nobody. So he ain't doing. He don't mean no harm.
Word. What you think, Frank?
Well, first of all,
Kanye gallivanting around the town over in
first
Cali.
of all, I'm happy that Kanye outside. Um,
Mhm.
as a Kanye fan, um, I know some of the stuff that he's went through, so I know that it's mentally played a big part in his career and in some of his situations that happened that was shown in a negative light. Um, I think that Kanye is very misunderstood on certain things.
Mhm.
I think if people started thinking more realistically, um, the world would be a better place. But everybody's so in this fantasy world where everything is perfect, and so to see Kanye go into a mode where he wasn't perfect and he spazzed out on Sway and did all these different things, I felt like he's been through so much on the other end, um, that his depression, because that's what it looked like to me. He was just depressed. I think after his mom passed, I think he just did a turn.
Yeah,
He still was a musical genius. He still
right.
put out good music, but I think mentally it messed him up. So for him to be with Kim Kardashian, which was different, but they survived a long time.
And
They
had
was
4
together
kids.
for a while. So to see him back outside and he's kind of getting back to his old self. He's doing more concerts and being more personable, talking to people, signing autographs and stuff like that. Like that's the Kanye that we used to seeing. So
So Kanye's back to you. He back outside.
yeah.
He got the hot chick on his
But I do
arm.
want to know was who was standing there taking those pictures, because I seen them the other day. I'm like, who's in that hallway taking them pictures while they,
I know.
they on top of each other and shit. Y'all taking pictures.
I was reading the comments and they said, what did y'all do? Did y'all set up the camera and put the timer on and then run on the floor and get on top of each other and take the picture with the camera timer and then get back up? And because everybody was like, who was taking those pictures? They probably set the timer and took it. Who the heck knows? Or maybe
But what
they.
you think about Kim though? Like with the whole Pete Davidson dude, like I'm trying to figure out how he getting all the chicks. That's what I want to know.
I mean, he was out. She was outside first with Pete before he popped out with Julia. So I mean, he's funny. He's from Staten Island, so he got the New York swag. He's funny. If you can make a girl laugh, that's points for you. You don't necessarily have to have, you know what I'm saying, like the most swag like Kanye would dress in, or the most, you know what I'm saying. Like you don't have to be. I don't think he's ugly, but I think him, just making her laugh and them working together on Saturday Night Live. Maybe, she got to know him and she thought he was funny. And I don't know, maybe she wanted to try something new. What you
Maybe
think, Dr.
I'll
Z?
be thinking, I'll be thinking that when women break up in relationships, they're very vulnerable. So I felt like he came in at the right time. He swooped in and showed her something different for a minute, stuff that she was missing. But I feel like there was interviews where she apologized for not being there for him, like he wanted her to be.
Yeah, I mean, like everything. Kim is more, I think, like Chris, like her mom than any of those
Yeah,
girls. Like everything Kim does is very calculated, like, cold. And I mean, she's about her coins, just like her mama. So I mean, I feel like she's just like, you know what? I've been in a house, Pete's funny. I can see her like, I'm going out. I don't
yeah.
care what you guys have to say. I don't give a shit.
Right. And listen, she was with Kanye for a long time, and she did come out and say that he has bipolar, and it is a lot to deal with somebody
Mhm.
with bipolar and mental issues. And she did stick by him, and I mean, even to this day, when he had his recent event, she was there with the kids. Like, I think that a lot of times before we as a public find out what's going on with these celebrities, this stuff is well underway. So by the time we found out about the divorce, I'm sure they've already talked about that. I'm sure that they already knew that they were probably separated first and then decided on the divorce. And we probably didn't find out until the paperwork was filed. But this
Oh,
stuff
we
is
found
probably
out. We found out. Shade Room told us first.
Right. And
right. But
trust
in
me,
this,
if something weird was going on, North would be putting her on blast. North put Kim on blast all the time. She'll be like, Kim Kardashian's in here. She'll be turning on, going live, not telling her mama. Like, North is, you gotta watch. North is something else. Have you ever
I'm
watched
dead.
North?
North got her own side of the house.
I'm trying to tell you.
North got her own
mixture
Birkin.
of him and Kanye. Like that child's gonna be off the charts. Like nobody's going to be able to touch her. She's gonna be like the queen of petty, like of her generation. Like
Shout out to Northwest. She got her Birkin. She got her TikTok popping. Northwest is swaggy. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Antonio Brown. He was released from the Buccaneers. Everything that's happening. We're going to go to Frank first. I want your opinion on this whole debacle with Antonio Brown.
Okay. If you want my opinion, I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like before he even got with the Bucks, he went through a state of depression as well. Even after the fact with this whole situation happening, there's two sides that we're hearing. We're hearing from the coach's side, three sides actually. We heard from the coach, Tom Brady, and then AB, of course. I guess the whole thing was he was supposedly injured and not fully healed, and the coach wanted him to go on the field. And he was like, no, like my joint not acting right. So he was like, yeah, we'll get off the field. So he took his stuff off. For me, again, like I said, I'm not at that status or, into the pros of that level. But I do believe in professionalism at all times. Just because you never know who's watching. That's what builds character. That's what builds your fan base as well. And I feel like that was typical AB. Like I feel like he was going to do that regardless. If something don't go his way, he gonna act out.
Do you think that they're treating him fairly now?
Honestly, I don't know what the story. I don't know whose story true, but I felt like Tom touched on it a little bit, and he tried to say certain things without embarrassing him, just kind of like keeping it professional. Like there's certain things or certain guidelines and rules that you got to follow when you on this team. If those things aren't followed or rules are being broken, like we can't have that over here. We don't care who you are.
Right.
So,
and not only that, but it's like he was on the other day I was on Clubhouse and he did a room. There was like 5,000 people in there. He was talking about the situation. He's making music now. He's on a promo run because of this.
Music trash.
Sorry?
The music's trash, but continue.
I didn't know about the music. I'm disappointed.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, but in a way, this kind of reminds me of the Colin Kaepernick situation. It's like, in a way, he is like pulling back the curtain on the NFL and kind of going public in a way that he felt like he was being treated unfairly. So I feel like in a way, this is a good thing, but then it sucks that he was released.
Well, I will say,
I feel like this
Colin
was
Kaepernick, I feel like that was a different situation. I feel like he stood for something, something that he didn't believe in, and you guys penalized him, blackballed him out of the league because of something that he didn't believe in. With all the things that were happening to our people, I wouldn't believe in it either. That's like if, you got a bunch of family members dying around you and you just like, God, like, why are you taking my people? You know what I mean? Like, I thought you were you were here. If you believe in God and you do this, you do that, nothing's going to happen. So it's like a God, why them? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
with Colin Kaepernick, it's kind of like you took away everything that he stood for because he didn't stand for what you guys wanted him to stand for.
Right. But I think now players, and we're going to get to you in a second, Dr. Z, I didn't forget. But I think with players now in the NFL, they're becoming less and less afraid of conforming. So in a way, it was a more serious thing with the Colin Kaepernick. Like I can't compare the two issues because it was totally different. But Antonio Brown kind of exposing the text messages with the coach and kind of going public with the way he was being treated unfairly and stuff. I feel like always with sports, everybody's always been in line and it's been hush hush and they did what they were told. And it's sort of like, what goes on in this house doesn't come out. And now you got these players that's like, nah, I'm about to expose this whole thing and blow the top off, So that's what I mean about not kind of conforming.
Yeah.
But, Dr. Z, what do you think about this thing with Antonio Brown?
Well, yeah, I was talking with my brothers about it. Like, we all kind of felt like this is his last stop because didn't Brady pull some strings to get him on this team in the first place?
Twice.
Was it because he wasn't on the team originally, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Last season when they won, he was.
what was he already on the team when Brady got there, or did Brady like get him on
No,
the team?
Brady got there first, and then he brought him on.
That's what I'm saying. So like he, and then what Brady already sticking his neck out. Like you kind of have to, I understand that they like are trying to silence him and he's feeling like he's conforming, but you kind of have to humble yourself. I've been in that situation like as a, like a doctor in training. Like I didn't agree with some of the things that were being done to me, but it's like when you're still in a position, because it's about legacy, like and you're not going to be playing forever, and you don't want people to remember you some like hothead throwing your stuff in the stands, that type of thing. Like,
he's like the Dennis Rodman of football.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with him not wanting to play or having words with the coach, but I feel like everybody didn't need to know that. He could have bowed out gracefully, like, I'm retiring, whatever, like I'm out, like, and they know why, that type of thing. And even like with Tom Brady, like, when he was asked about it, he was like, give him some grace, because he knows it's a hard situation and he's probably frustrated for him. And it's like I'm not going to say what I really want to do, but I will say y'all need to give that man some grace, because he knows it's not like something that's just like, black and white, cut it dry. Now, that whole situation was just like crazy, because people were like, texting me, like, because I'm a big we live in a football household, and they're like, dude quit, like he's like walking off the field, throwing his stuff in the stands. They were trying to get him to keep his uniform on, like all this foolishness. But I just like, excuse me, I think he also just had some other issues going on, because I saw another video where like I think the police was in his neighborhood, and it was like the mother of his daughter or something, and she's trying to like take his car, like his Bentley or his Rolls Royce or something, and he's like, "This is not your car, this is my car." Like she's a base head and like all this stuff, and the police are there like trying to like calm him down, and he's like, mouthing off to the police. So it's just like
it's a lot.
Yeah, you have to be like subconsciously and like overtly conscious of what you're putting out there. Like when people are recording you, like, it's just like with Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So, people are going to be listening to what you're saying. People are always watching what you're saying. Big Brother's always watching, recording what you're saying. Like you can't just go, you can't do that. Like I can't do that. Just going to smiling off to people, because it's going to be consequences. That's going to happen to my career. I could lose my medical license. So it's just like, at what point, I think for him, he needs to say like, well, at what point do I feel like I have something to lose, and I'm going to put a muzzle on it,
Right.
And that goes back to what I was saying with the professionalism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have to, at some point, you have to have like, some standards and some boundaries, and you'd be like, you know what? There's a lot on the line here, and I do want to have a legacy, and so I'm gonna handle my business, but I'm not gonna do it on camera.
Yeah,
you gotta have enough wits about you to know that, and I think that's kind of like, but you don't know what's going on when he's not on camera. So I mean, I'm gonna give him some grace, but I do, you need to reel it in.
And I think he was upset at Tom because they put him on like this fixed deal. So it was like $333,000 for 4 more touchdowns. So if you get 4 more touchdowns within this period, you get $333,000. And then if you get receiving yards or blah blah blah, like each thing was an incentive for it. So he's like, if Tom is so much my friend, why am I on this type of deal? I should be having a contract with my money up front.
Right.
But due to what you just pulled shows why you were on that type of deal. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to sign you for $22 million for 2 years, and then you take your jersey off because I tell you something and you walk off. Like, how does that look to the organization? Then I'm forced to keep you because you're under contract.
Right.
So what I'm going to do, sit you when you're such a powerhouse, you're such a big name. I can't sit you. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna just give you what you earn.
Well, good luck, everybody. With well, not everybody. Good luck, Antonio. Best wishes for what your future holds. And yeah, that's a lot. The last topic before we go into our game. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Jim Jones, the rapper, he was on the He was on the Angela Yee Lip Service podcast.
I love
During
that
the podcast, he revealed that when he was younger, his mother taught him how to French kiss. She did, according to him, allegedly, she did not, give him details on how to French kiss. She demonstrated with her mouth how to French kiss. Okay. So he stated this on the Angela Yee podcast, and the internet went in a frenzy.
It's my mother.
It's uproar. Right. He said it's my mom and all this. She had me when she was 17. She was a kid. She did whatever the case is. Now, after the internet went into a frenzy, they're double backing and saying, Jim Jones is saying it was a joke, and the mom was saying that she didn't really do that, and all this. So, Frank, tell me your thoughts on that conversation that Jim Jones had during lip service.
Well, I'm definitely a big watcher of lip service, so listening to Jim Jones on lip service in general was just different. But I will say, there's really no handbook to being a young parent. So if that, and they from New York, you know what I mean? So she just was.
So what does that mean, sir?
She's just a little more on the rough side. She really don't care like that.
That don't mean listen, just because you from New York, you ain't tongue kissing your kid. Like what?
But I'm saying her like I've watched her on TV, so I can tell that wouldn't bother her. You know what I mean? Her doing that doesn't bother her. She's like a freakazoid. We know that from watching her on TV. But I will say it was different to hear him say that. I wouldn't have said it. I would have kept that to myself, honestly. But Jim Jones gonna get a pass because that's one of my favorite groups of all time. So I mean, God bless their situation. If that really helped him learn how to tongue kiss, then hey, whatever floats your boat.
Dr. Z, did you hear about this?
No, I didn't, but I mean, I used to watch them on Love and Hip Hop New York, so I know all about that crazy dynamic and with his girlfriend. Like I'm kind of with the thought. I'm not sure which one of you said it. Like some things you just don't need to talk about. He didn't tell people that his mama taught him how to do that. I could have lived a full life without knowing that information. If that's how you learn, I mean, great. I mean, I know that's your mom, whatever. That's how y'all get down, whatever. I don't want to know what that means because you were like, well, what does that mean? I really don't want to delve into that more deeper than like, okay, now that you said that, okay, she taught you. I mean, all right, so, but I mean, like,
it's very odd.
I ain't never even kissed my mom on the cheek.
It is. And, like, I don't know if he needs to get, like, a publicist or a team to review stuff that he going to be talking about on the show, like, to just kind of maybe do, like, a little read-through or something, like, what are you going to be talking about today? Like, I mean, even the Obamas, they learned, like, early on before, Barack was elected, like, and his wife is very good at speaking. These are both, like, Ivy League trained.
They're media trained.
Yeah, and she could not give any speech that wasn't written because she realized people would take her word. She couldn't like this freestyle stuff because they'd take everything she would say and like blow it out of proportion when he was trying to get elected. So she said as a result, she stopped giving freestyle speeches. Like anything she says, it's been proof checked, written, proof checked. Like she ain't just giving no freestyles. So I'm like, if you're out there running this type of show and you're gonna control the show, you need to make sure you know what you're gonna get up there and talk about. And I mean, if he knew he wanted to talk about that, they should have. Look, don't say that your mama taught you. Say that. You know what I'm saying? Because that might not even be what he meant. But stuff will come out and then people will take it and
No, Angela Yee said. Oh, so because he said my mama taught me how to kiss. So she said, oh, so what did she tell you? And he goes, she didn't tell me, she showed me. Oh. And then she said, well, how did she show you? He said, with her mouth. So Angela Yee gave him like 3 outs before. You understand? She gave him like 3 chances to kind of like, reverse, get out of there. He confirmed.
You have to give me that visual. I don't want to picture this dude tongue
I'm
kissing
gonna
his
send it
mom.
to you. I'm gonna send you the clip, and then you tell me what you think. But anyway, we love Jim Jones. We love Mama Jones. And again, this is just us speculating about public figures' lives. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. They are public figures, so we have a right to talk about them. They are public figures, and this is just our opinion. We don't know people's lives. We're not claiming to. We're just giving our opinions.
Mama Jones is physicotic, so.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember that song, Psychotic?
Shout out to Mama Jones. All right, guys, we're gonna play a quick game of red flag and deal breaker. Before we get into the game, Dr. Z, plug your business. Where can they find you?
Oh yeah. The Natural Hair Doctor, best vegan hair care products out here. We're a luxury physician-owned brand, one of the only out here, if not the first. And it's a whole signature hairline with textured hair in mind. But you don't have to have textured hair to use the products. You know, maybe some of the styling products, but not like the basic stuff like the shampoo, the conditioner, the leave-in, and the hair serums. Yeah, so name of the company is The Natural Hair Doctor. Our site is thenaturalhairdoctor.shop. We're not a .com, we're a .shop, because I want you to go in there in my store and shop. You know, the signature line is called Strantastic. So I'm really excited about it. You know, we're just getting everything together. I'm about to have my first launch party next month, actually in Houston, in my brother's building. Yeah. So we're really excited about that. And we're going to have, you know, a launch pop-up. And, you know, so I'm really excited to, you know, like network with some of the entrepreneurs in the, you know, affluent H-Town area, and like promote some of the beauty businesses, you know, there, and like, you know, get the name out about the Natural Hair Doctor. So you can follow me. Thanks, Angie, for putting in that's like actually my page. And if you will read just like my bio, there is actually a link to my Natural Hair Doctor page as well, where you can get to the website. If you know, it's too hard for you to type in the naturalhairdoctor.shop.
And if you're watching this, yes, check it out. If you're watching this, I'm gonna put Dr. Z's stuff in the description. Frank's website, his Instagram in the description, Dr. Z's website, and her Instagram in the description, so you could tap in with all of them. You already know me, my stuff is gonna be in there, but we're gonna play this game because I'm not gonna keep y'all here all night. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We're gonna play a game called red flag or deal breaker. I'm gonna read y'all a scenario, and you're gonna tell me whether it's a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it. Now, if any of y'all are in relationships, this is presuming that you're single or you just met someone. So this is not your current spouse or, you know, person. Okay, so we'll go with Dr. Z first and then Frank. Okay, so he wears 10. You meet him. You know, he's fine, he smells good, you guys are texting, you know, you guys decide to go out on a casual date, maybe go to the park and pick up some, you know, ice cream, and then maybe go to the movies, and he shows up to the date and he got on tennis shoes with no socks. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or do you love it?
That's definitely a red flag. You know, if, you know, I like this gentleman enough to go out on a first date, you know, I'm not just gonna write him off because he ain't got no socks. So maybe it was like, you know, a laundry day and he really wanted to go out with me. He didn't think I was gonna see or something. I'm gonna try to, you know, I'm gonna ask. And if the answer don't add up, it might turn into a deal breaker. But I mean, it'll be a red flag.
I wonder what them feet is gonna smell like at the end of the day when he takes them socks, them shoes off.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna prompt some questions. I'm gonna be like, do you have anklets on? Do you have socks on? Like, and if he
put powder in the shoe.
He probably put a little baby powder in there.
That's disgusting. Frank, what about you? You show up to the date with Shorty and she got on shoes, she got on sneakers, some Adidas or something. She don't got no socks on. What do you feel about that? Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or do you love it?
I don't know how to look at that. It just depends on the weather, like what she wearing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes some people wear no socks with certain shoes in different weather.
She got on tennis shoes with no socks.
It's a little different for ladies. Like
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
that's
saying. Like,
disgusting either way.
it is, but it's just like why you put on if you didn't want to wear socks, why you put on tennis? That's what
yeah,
I'd be wondering for the
or you could have
girl.
worn no show socks. You
That
know?
right, but I said no socks. Feet sweating in the tennis shoes,
Yeah,
boofing.
she bugging.
So is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or do you love it?
It's a red flag.
Okay. All right. Next question. You're dating a guy, Dr. Z, and he texts you and you notice he has improper grammar, but you just take it that he's rushing when he's texting, and then you go out on a dinner date with him and he has improper grammar in person and on texts. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
Um, it's still not a deal breaker. It's just a red flag. I'm just gonna be like, can you change it up? If he could, code switch when I need him to, it's not a deal breaker. Because I mean, I'm not someone that's gonna speak, grammatic English all the time either.
So you in the restaurant and he's like, yo, waitress, you know what I'm saying? Come over here for a second. Real quick.
I mean, like if it's
And yelling
around me,
Philippe's.
no, well, I mean, like I don't care if it's around me, but I'm like if I'm like, if I'm really in a situation like in public and I need you to say some words about me or people are speaking to you, I'm introducing you to people that I work with and stuff, and you acting all country, no.
And
That's
he says we're eating salmon with the L. He says we're eating salmon.
yeah,
And we're drinking Merlot. We're going to the buffet with the tea.
Oh my god.
I know I don't care about stuff like that. Like if it's just like around me, I'm gonna clown them about it. I'm gonna give them a hard time, but like I don't care because I don't say everything right. But like if I need you to represent, you better speak right. I'm sorry if you can't do what I need you to do it. That's gonna be a deal breaker. But like
Got it.
but just like around because I come from the South, so our stuff don't make sense. It's like we make groceries out here. We don't go to the grocery. We make groceries. I'm gonna make groceries. You
I
know,
bet.
like so. I mean, I get it. Like I still speak like that. 90% of the time, no, because like I need people to understand what I say. Like especially if I'm like giving a presentation or talking to patients and stuff, so they don't always like they're like, what is she trying to say? But a lot of my dialect, people have their little dialects. It's like I would talk really fast. I had to learn to stop to do that. So I think that could be trained. It's not gonna bother me if I really like the dude. And and no, and I think it's funny, but then like, when I need you to do it and you can't like change it up, like I change it up, you gotta go.
I got you. I feel you on that. What about you, Frank?
Well, I'm gonna start by saying it's a difference between the grammar correction and just being plain ignorant. Like, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of beautiful women out there, and then when they open their mouth, it just sounds ignorant as fuck. You're like, nah.
Right. So what about you? Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
It's definitely a red flag, just because I don't know. Like some stuff should be easy to pronounce.
I feel you on that.
My grandmother, because I was raised by my grandmother, like I was around her a lot, so me saying certain words, she
Enunciation of
always
words.
corrected me.
Right.
So
That's important to some people. All right, guys. Frank, they're still good friends with their ex. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it? You dating a girl and she's still good friends with her ex.
for me personally, it's a deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Just because it's just kind of like baby mothers, right? Like they always feel like they got that hold on you. Like whenever if he wants to come around, like he can get it anytime he wants, or she can get it anytime she wants. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
and out here in Oakland, we get a lot of women who like men. If they can't get them, they become their brother. They use that
Right.
term very loosely here.
Right.
So oh, this my brother, you know, this my
Right.
family, or this my brother. Like, if they not blood, then I don't trust them. You know what I mean? Because you start fucking your brother, then what? Like, then what
Right.
am I supposed to think? Like, your
Right.
brother, you know, flirting with you, you know, random. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what you supposed to think?
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a big red flag for
That's
me.
a red flag. It could be a deal breaker. Well, actually, you said it was a deal breaker, so that's a no go for Frank.
Yeah,
And Dr. Z said a deal breaker too. You're not on that.
No, it's definitely a deal breaker for me. Your funny story. I have a cousin who's actually really good friends with her ex. Now, while she still is like just strictly platonic friends with him, we both know she knows that he would take her back in a minute. Like he's still friends with her because he's trying to wait for his end to get back in. So I don't see that. Either one or both parties are still holding on to that relationship. You know, and I just don't even want that added stress of having like, well, are they hooking up? Like,
Right. Yeah.
like you never want to have to even deal with that. Like, and you shouldn't have to settle for somebody that's like hanging out with their ex, all the time, and you're wondering. I just feel like
I
if this,
agree.
yeah, if it's somebody who really into you, like they ain't gonna be hanging out with no ex.
I
but you
agree.
know, but you know what's crazy? Can I intervene with that?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
there's women who say women who don't move on with people who actually want to be with them because they feel like they have a past with their ex.
Mhm.
Like, it
Mhm.
holds them back from going into relationships.
Right.
Mhm.
And you know, when you talk to a woman and you're like, yeah, so you know, like what's up with us? Like, I'm digging you, like I'm all in on this, and they're so uncertain because they feel like there's something still there with their ex.
Right.
Or
Like, it's
they're trying to right some wrong that they,
yeah,
when they really were together. Because like I think in my cousin's case, he trying to like buy all the things he couldn't buy her because he got money now. He didn't have money when they
Right.
were
yeah.
together.
And it's just a sticky situation with that. Like, I
Mhm.
was in a situation with a girl where I was dating her for about a year or so, and we ran into her ex at a car wash. And when we walked into the car wash, she just was acting different. Like, when she seen him, she just started acting different. So I'm like, yo, like, what's the problem? Why you go outside? Like, you here with me? Why does it matter? That's your ex. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But she was like, I know his mother. I'm good with his mother and his aunties and all this. Like, I got a lot of history with him. But I'm like, why the fuck does that matter? Like, we together.
Right.
Like, why is it bothering you that much? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And she got mad at me because of what I said. And
Right.
so she was just like, I don't think our relationship is gonna last, blah, blah, blah. And I think that she was more used to a different type of lifestyle. He lived a faster lifestyle. He was out in the streets and doing this and doing that. And I'm just like, on the other end, I'm a hardworking guy and I do this and I do that. So,
Right.
she kind of was just like, yeah, I can't do it because I feel like there's something still there. Like, I'm still cool with his mom and all this. And so I go back inside of the car wash and he's like, hey, tell her that she doesn't have to act funny with me. And I'm just like, honestly, I don't know what to tell you about that, partner. Like, you know. So I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's a big red flag. I'll never do that again.
Mhm.
No, I hear you on that. That's a no go for me too. Okay. So you meet a guy or you meet, okay, well, we'll start with you, Frank. We'll start with you, Dr. Z. You meet a man, and you digging him and stuff, you like the way he dressed, the way he smells. Y'all been on a few dates before. And now you get into the point where, you decide to go back to his crib to have a nightcap. And you go back to the crib to have a nightcap, and he has more than 3 animals there. And he lives in a studio. Is that a red flag? Deal
Are
breaker,
they
or
in the
you love
house?
it?
They're not in the cages.
Like 3 animals: a bird, a cat, let's say a reptile, fish, a dog. He just got a lot going on. What is it? How do you feel about
If these
that?
animals are roaming free in the apartment, I'm out. That's a deal breaker. I'm good. In a studio? Mm-mm.
What about you, Frank? She got 3 or more animals at the crib.
Well, if they in cages and tanks, shit. I mean, I came there for something else. So
Oh, And I
mean, the cage is different, but if they just out there, I like.
Yeah, if it's a
we trying to get it in, and I feel something running across the bottom of my feet. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
what the
that's
hell?
out.
Oh no, I'm
I am
out of
on the
here.
floor.
Yeah, if it's dogs and cats and stuff that's moving around and you in a studio apartment, that's out. We're gonna have to go get a room or something.
Yeah, you
might need a bigger place.
Go to a hotel. You're not
And
staying here.
yeah, and there's also, a lot of chores that go with having animals. So how is that place smelling? Hopefully it smells good.
Right. She might have been lonely before she ran into me that night.
All right, guys. Dr. Z, if they have a weird pigeon-toed duck walk, everything is going good with the guy. You know, everything is all good, and then he get up to go to the bathroom, and he got a weird pigeon-toed duck walk. What is that looking like?
That's a deal breaker because I already know. And then, all right, Frank, I know Angie in real life, and so Angie is their friend. Like, I'll be like, girl, look how this dude was walking. We'll be laughing I'll be texting her on the date, girl. Like, look, this dude walking to the bathroom. Like, I can't. I'm about to leave. I'm about to have a breakdown out here. Like, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Frank, Shorty gotta, you digging her. She looked like Beyonce. She come to the restaurant, whatever the case may be, y'all chilling. She smell good, you feeling her. She get up to go to the bathroom. She got a weird pigeon-toed duck walk. What are we doing? Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
Can I say neutral? Can I be neutral?
No, you gotta say red flag, deal breaker, or love it.
I love it, I guess. I mean, on a woman, it's not that bad.
So you walking with Shorty, and she walks like a duck.
Oh, she waddling?
She's walking like a duck, and she's pigeon-toed.
Oh no, that's out. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's like Handyman off of Living Color. Like,
yeah, I thought you just meant like she just was a little bow leg or pigeon-toed.
No, she got
was waddling like a pigeon.
She got a weird pigeon-toed duck walk.
This like a character on a video game. That's how they walking.
Yeah, no.
Why am I gonna make it?
I start from the feet up anyway, so I would have noticed that a long time ago. If the feet ain't right, that's an automatic deal breaker. So,
that's a dub, ma. Okay.
Yeah.
They brush their. Okay, so Dr. Z, he brushes. Okay, so all right, so you dating a guy, everything is going good. You've been to the crib. You get there for the nightcap. Y'all get it popping. His house smell good. He don't have a bunch of animals running around. So y'all pass that. The next morning, he gets in the shower. You go to use the bathroom. He's in the shower and he brushes his teeth and blows his nose in the shower. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it? And he don't have, like, that's just where he does his blowing his nose and brushing his teeth, not at the sink in the shower.
Well, it's a red flag. Maybe it's gonna give me a pause, but I mean, we could have separate showers. We could, as long as he ain't trying to blow his nose on me and brush his teeth on me, Some people have weird bathroom habits, I find. Like, I think that's where a lot of couples struggle, like in the bathroom, and they want their separate bathroom space and, stuff. So, I can give him his space in the bathroom. Like, I don't want him blowing his nose in my shower, though.
Word up. What about you, Frank? She's blowing her nose and brushing her teeth in the shower.
Well, I mean, when you're in a rush, you never brush your teeth in the shower?
Okay, but blowing the nose in the shower? All of a sudden you hear.
Yeah, that's a red flag. I don't need no boogers in the shower.
I feel you. So that's red flags. Okay, across the board. All right. So next question. You go to their house, and this has happened in real life before to me, but not with like a love interest. I was at someone else's house, but you walk in their house and they have some sort of animal collection all around the house, like elephant, tiger, cat, dog. Like, I went to someone's house one time, and you know how like hunters will kill an animal and then stuff it? I went to somebody's house and there was like stuffed dead animals everywhere. And this happened, but this wasn't a love interest. This was actually someone that I know, their fiance's family's house. Dead animals all over the house, stuffed.
I had something similar happen, but instead of stuffed animals, it was pictures or little ornaments of Jesus.
How would y'all feel? First, I'll go with Dr. Z. You get in a crib after a night, you go in there for a nightcap, and there's either, stuffed dead animals all over the guy's house.
It would be a kind of like a red flag. Like,
That's giving me serial killer vibes. That might be a deal breaker for me.
That's definitely a deal breaker for me.
If we, it would be a red flag. I'm gonna be like, I got all these things. Well, but some people collect stuff that, and it gives you weird. But like I sit in this house, I'm telling y'all, like, big, like, pictures of Jesus, like, looking at you, and I mean, but the woman was normal. So
right.
I mean, no, but, whatever they judge is, but it's just like when you start to get serious with a person, it's just like, and we have to share space. Do you want to bring this stuff in the space that I'm in? And that's where it becomes like, a deal breaker, like, because that's his house. If I don't like it, we ain't got to hook up at your house. We can go somewhere else. Like, so if everything else is good, I'm good. But it's just like, you're not bringing them animals to my house.
His elephant collection. What about you, Frank?
He bringing them, like, that's bringing spirits. That's too many spirits roaming around.
I'm on the floor. Y'all are crazy. So that's a deal. That's deal breakers and red flags all across the board. Okay, Frank, you meet a girl. You digging her. She look like Rihanna. She's bad, small waist, big booty. She got everything you need. But she tells you in the bedroom she's into BDSM. The bondage, tying up, spanking you. She's into the domination and all that stuff. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it? The BDSM.
She trying to do it to me, or she want me to do it to her?
She want both of y'all to do it to each other. She want to do it to you, and she don't mind you doing it to her.
Well, it's only a red flag because I'm not doing it. I'll do it to you though. If that's what she like, I'm gonna give her what she like.
Okay, so that could be a red flag if she wants to dominate you, but you don't mind dominating her.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Dr. Z? He's into BDSM, like the Grey's Anatomy. What is that? 50 Shades of Grey. So, he got a sex dungeon in the crib.
Does he want me to dominate him? Do I gotta spank him?
Both ways. He like it all through everything. He got a sex dungeon. He want to tie himself up, and you tie him up. He want to tie you up, paddle you, spank you. Y'all spanking each other. The whole
like men.
I would have to try it at least once to see if it would be a red flag or a deal breaker. But I mean, it does get
he loves it. Huh? So you would say you love it until you don't love it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm willing to try it once. Man, if I don't like it, I'll be like, you know what? I don't know if this is gonna work out. But I mean, I might like it. I can't say I don't like something and I haven't tried it.
Got it. Okay, that's what's up. All right. So, Frank, you dating a girl. I only got like 3 more questions and then we out of here, y'all. So you dating a girl. All right, you dating a girl and you realize after dating her for a few weeks, you starting to see this pattern. She's always 30 minutes late. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
You know what? That's damn near a deal breaker for me.
Me too.
Just simply because I'm a very punctual person, and I'm a romancer, so I like to plan stuff out.
Right.
And if I'm planning something out and you ain't there on time, it's a problem for me. That's the red flag that leads to a deal breaker.
I feel you. What about you, Dr. Z? He's always 30 minutes late.
You better have everybody else waiting except for me. I'm good.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me. That's a pet peeve. I can't stand anything more than 5 to 10 minutes. Well, 5 minutes, I'll give you grace. Anything going from 10 to 15 minutes, I can't handle that. And if it's a habitual thing,
it is like PTSD. And I've already been in a situation where they used to have me wait. And so that's triggering right now. You bring me back to a place I don't want to go to. Deal breaker.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker. All right, Dr. Z, I'll start with you. You and your partner are newly engaged, and you find out they want to donate their body to science after death. They would like you to make the same commitment. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
I'm not doing it. They could do what they want with their body. I'm not doing that with mine.
So is that a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
Deal breaker. Like if I have to, if they're mandating I have to do it, or we're not gonna be together. All right.
What about you, Frank?
That's an automatic deal breaker.
Yeah.
That just let me know what type of weird shit you on. I ain't doing that. Donate your body to science. All these people dying every day. You don't need my body. Shit.
That's the deal breaker.
Wasn't they throwing them in the trucks in New York
you're not
during
saying
the
like
COVID
donate
time?
organs. You saying like my whole body? Like no.
Yeah, they want to donate their body to science after death, and they would like you to make the same commitment.
Yeah, they bugging.
That's gonna end the relationship. Y'all are not involved in that. I feel you on that.
They don't need no bodies.
Okay.
No need no other body like my body.
Definitely no other body. Shit, wasn't they throwing them in there in the trucks in New York during COVID time? They was throwing them in the meat wagon like that. Yeah, they got enough bodies to do science on.
Sadly, yeah, that was happening allegedly. Yeah. Okay, so last question. Frank, you're on your first date together, and excuse me, hold on. Excuse me.
Bless you.
You're on your first date together, and your date reads the entire menu softly under their breath, and you're not sure if they know that they're reading it. So, like, that they notice. So, do you comment like they're reading the entire menu, like kind of out loud but softly? Like literally the date, like you're in a nice restaurant, it's quiet, and they're just like, the chicken, and they're like literally reading the whole entire menu during the first date.
Like the chicken, Brussels sprouts, macaroni and cheese. Oh, they got egg roll. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I've told girls before, like when they just too loud, it's like, damn, why you so loud? And then they tell me I talk too low. But I'm like, you standing next to me, I don't need to raise my voice to talk to you. You should be able to hear me. But yeah, be like, yeah, you're thinking out loud.
So you would let her know, but that's so. Would that be like a red flag, a deal breaker, or you love it?
It's a red flag. Only because I mean you can do it, but in certain environments. Like if we had a bar or something, you know what I mean. Everybody talks try to talk over the crowd to understand what they're doing, but to be in a more sophisticated, setting, and then you speaking out loud, it's kind of like I don't want to be the one looked at. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that look when you come into church and church has already started and you started the sermon, you come through them doors and everybody turn back.
Right. Yeah, and your phone rings or vibrate.
Yeah, I'm good.
What about you, Dr. Z? He's reading the whole menu softly under his breath, and you're not even sure that he realizes that he's doing it. Is that a red flag, a deal breaker?
I don't you love stuff like that. I love it. Whatever.
Word. Me, I would just be like, if he does it every single time, it would definitely be a red flag for me because it's an annoyance, like a mild annoyance that it's like it wouldn't be a deal breaker because it's something that we could fix. Because if he doesn't realize he's doing it and it's a habit and he does it with everything, it's going to be a pain in the ass eventually, in the house and every time, you know what I'm saying? But, you reading something and stuff like that, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. But guys, thank you so much for playing. Frank, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Dr. Zakiya, friend of the show, thank you so much for popping up, answering the questions. Everybody tap in with Frank, Dr. Z, tap in with his Struggle Made merchandise. He got the website for it. I'm going to put everything into the description. Tap in with Dr. Z and her natural hair care line. I'm going to put her website in the description, Dr. Z and Frank's Instagram. I like to always say this to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for my guests for joining me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be in Angie's world. And for that, I love you. We out of here. Peace. Dr. Z and Frank, don't go nowhere. Trying to get this production together. Don't go nowhere, y'all. But everybody else, peace out.